Japanese home cooks freeze things that most Western kitchens simply throw away. Not because they have better appliances, not because they have more time, because they treat the freezer differently. They freeze ginger whole and grate it straight from frozen. Sharper flavor, zero waste. They freeze eggs by the portion so a dozen never expires on the counter. They freeze tofu on purpose because the texture that comes out is more useful than what went in. They freeze herbs sealed in oil so a Tuesday night meal takes minutes, not effort. And they freeze rice, still warm, so it comes back almost exactly as it left. None of this is complicated, but taken together, it changes what a freezer actually does for you. Today, we're counting down 11 Japanese freezer tricks that save food, money, and time. Number one reframes the entire idea of what a freezer is for. Let's get into it. Number 11, the label rule that stops freezer amnesia. Most freezers in the West share the same problem. Things go in with good intentions and come out months later unrecognizable. You open the door and find a Ziploc bag with something brownish inside. No date, no label, no memory of what it is or when it went in. So you leave it, and eventually you throw it away. Many Japanese home cooks treat the freezer more like a pantry than a holding zone. Every item gets a label before it goes in, what it is when it was frozen, and roughly when it should be used. That last part matters most. Writing a use-by date forces a simple question. When will I actually eat this? If you don't have an answer, you probably shouldn't be freezing it. This habit alone keeps the freezer rotating. Food gets used, nothing gets buried. You don't need a special system. Masking tape and a marker is enough. The freezer isn't the problem. Putting things in without a plan is. Number 10. Freeze ginger whole and grate it from frozen. You buy a hand of fresh ginger for one dish. You use a small piece, the rest goes into the fridge, gets pushed to the back, and 3 weeks later you find it shriveled and dry behind the carrots. There's a much simpler approach that many Japanese home cooks use. Freeze the ginger whole, unpeeled, just drop it in a bag. When you need it, take it out and grate it directly from frozen. The skin stays on the grater or simply falls away. The flesh grates cleanly and easily, much easier than fresh, actually. Frozen ginger releases its oils readily, so the flavor hits fast and hard. For cooked dishes, soups, and marinades, it works beautifully. Kept this way, ginger lasts for months in the freezer. Compare that to fresh ginger in the fridge, where it slowly dries out or goes moldy between uses. One small change. One less thing wasted every week. Number 9. The flat freeze method that fixes cluttered freezers. A disorganized freezer wastes more than just space. It wastes food. Things get buried, forgotten, and eventually thrown away because you didn't know they were there. A common meal prep approach in Japanese home kitchens solves this with one simple rule. Freeze flat. Soups, sauces, stews, ground meat. Anything that can be flattened gets poured or pressed into a Ziploc bag, spread into an even layer, and frozen lying down. Once solid, these flat slabs stack vertically like books, or they stand upright in a container like files in a drawer. The freezer becomes readable at a glance. You can see everything. Beyond organization, there's a practical bonus. Thin, flat portions thaw much faster than dense blocks. A flat bag of soup can be ready under cold running water in just a few minutes. A frozen block of the same soup might take an hour or more. Shape your food before you freeze it. It changes how quickly you can use it. Number 8. The tofu mistake that turns out to be a feature. If you've ever frozen tofu by accident, you probably thought you ruined it. It comes out pale, spongy, and nothing like what went in. In many parts of Japanese cooking, that result is entirely intentional. When tofu freezes, ice crystals form throughout the block and create a porous, open structure. Once thawed and gently pressed to release the water, what remains is firmer, chewier, and filled with tiny channels that absorb marinades and sauces far more readily than fresh tofu. This style of tofu has been used in Japanese cooking for a long time. It holds up better in soups and braises, and it takes on flavor in a fraction of the time. Fresh tofu can sit in a marinade for hours and still taste fairly plain on the inside. Frozen and thawed tofu soaks up the same marinade in minutes. What looks like freezer damage is actually a different ingredient. If you cook with tofu regularly, it's worth trying on purpose. Number 7. The egg portion trick that ends carton waste. Here's a waste problem most people don't notice until after it's happened. You buy a dozen eggs, use 2 or 3 for a recipe, and the rest sit in the fridge. Life gets busy. A couple of weeks pass, half the carton is still there, and the best buy date has come and gone. Eggs are one of the most consistently wasted items in Western households. A practical workaround: crack the eggs you won't use soon, beat them lightly to combine, and pour the mixture into a freezer safe container or ice cube tray. Each portion equals roughly 1 egg. Frozen beaten eggs keep well for a couple of months and work fine for scrambled eggs, baking, frittatas, and cooked dishes. If you only need yolks, freeze those separately with a small pinch of salt to prevent them from thickening too much. This isn't a complicated technique. It's just a decision made a few days earlier than the one to throw them away. Freeze what you won't use in time. Use it when you need it. Number 6. The 90-second step that actually makes frozen vegetables worth eating. Most people who've tried freezing vegetables at home have been disappointed. The broccoli comes out soft. The green beans lose their color. The texture is wrong. The issue isn't freezing itself. It's skipping a step that commercial frozen vegetable producers always include. It's called blanching, and it takes about 90 seconds. Drop the vegetables into boiling water briefly, then transfer them immediately into ice-cold water to stop the cooking. Drain them thoroughly, let them dry, and then freeze. That quick heat exposure deactivates the enzymes inside the vegetable that continue breaking down texture and color even at freezer temperatures. Without it, those enzymes keep working slowly in the cold, and the result is mushy vegetables months later. With blanching, the vegetable is essentially paused at peak quality. Many Japanese home cooks do this in weekend batches. A variety of vegetables blanched, dried, and frozen flat, ready to pull out in exact amounts throughout the week. The process adds a few minutes up front. The payoff is vegetables that actually hold up when you need them. If you're finding this useful, go ahead and tap like. It helps YouTube show this to more people. And if this is the kind of content you want to see more of, subscribe before the next section. The remaining items are the most practical ones on the list. Number 5. Herb and oil cubes that replace the dried spice jar. Fresh herbs have a short window. You buy a bunch of parsley for a recipe, use a small handful, and the rest turns yellow in the fridge within days. Most of it ends up in the bin. There's a better approach that takes about 10 minutes. Chop the herbs, press them into an ice cube tray, and cover with olive oil or melted butter. Freeze until solid, then transfer the cubes to a labeled bag. Each cube is a ready-to-use portion of herb-infused fat. When cooking, you pull a cube directly from the freezer and drop it into a warm pan. No thawing needed. The fat melts in seconds, and the herb flavor releases immediately. This works across almost every herb you'd regularly use: basil, parsley, cilantro, thyme, rosemary, sage. The oil or butter protects the herbs from freezer burn and doubles as your cooking fat. One batch on a Sunday can cover weeks of weeknight cooking. Dried herbs are a compromise. This is closer to the real thing. Number 4. Why frozen rice is often better than refrigerated rice. Leftover rice is one of the most reliably disappointing foods in Western kitchens. You refrigerate it, and by the next day it's dry and slightly grainy. You reheat it, and it's better, but not quite right. By day 3, most people throw it out. The issue is that refrigeration dries rice out. The starch structure changes, and reheating only partially reverses that. Freezing works differently. Rice frozen shortly after cooking, while it still has moisture, holds that moisture in. Reheated from frozen in a microwave with a damp paper towel or a small splash of water, it steams back to something close to freshly cooked. Many Japanese households cook rice in large batches, portion it while still warm, wrap each portion tightly, and freeze the same day. An important note on food safety: rice should be cooled properly before freezing and should not be left at room temperature for more than an hour or two. Once frozen and reheated, it should be eaten promptly and not refrozen. Done correctly, this turns rice from a 2-day leftover into a reliable weekday staple. Pull a portion in the morning, it's ready by dinner. Number 3. Portioning before you freeze changes how you cook. Most people in the West freeze food in bulk. A large bag of mince, half a pot of soup, a big container of chili. Then comes the inconvenient part. You need a small amount for one meal, but everything is frozen together. You thaw the whole thing, use part of it, and put the rest back in the fridge where it becomes a different problem. A common approach in Japanese home kitchens flips this. Food gets portioned before freezing, not after. Ground meat is divided into individual cooking amounts and pressed flat before freezing. Soup is split into single servings. Proteins are frozen in meal-sized portions. Each item in the freezer becomes a unit. One meal, one recipe, one use. This removes a recurring small frustration from weeknight cooking. Instead of thawing a block and figuring out what to do with the rest, you pull exactly what you need. Flat individual portions also thaw significantly faster than dense blocks, often in just a few minutes under cold water versus close to an hour for a large frozen mass. Portion before you freeze. Thaw only what you'll use. It's a small habit that removes a recurring small problem. Number 2, cooking stock in cubes. Turn scraps into something you'll actually use. Most home cooks understand in theory that making stock from vegetable scraps or chicken carcass is a good idea. In practice, it rarely happens. The effort feels large. And if you do make a pot of stock, you end up with more than you can use in a week, stored in a container in the fridge until it quietly goes bad. The cube approach changes the equation. After making stock or even collecting and simmering basic scraps, pour the cooled liquid into an ice cube tray. Each cube holds roughly 2 tablespoons. Once frozen, transfer the cubes to a labeled bag. Now, stock becomes a pantry item rather than a project. 2 cubes go into a pan sauce. 4 cubes go into a quick soup. The stock gets used because it requires almost no effort to access. This is a practical approach used across many Japanese home kitchens, where making use of every ingredient, including bones, scraps, and cooking liquid, is a natural part of how food gets handled. Homemade stock stored this way has no added salt, no fillers, and a depth of flavor that a store-bought carton rarely matches. The carcass from a roast chicken, the trimmings from vegetables, the liquid left in the pan, none of it needs to go down the drain. Freeze it in cubes, use it in portions, the flavor is already paid for. Number 1, the bigger idea behind every trick on this list. Every technique in this countdown solves a specific problem, but step back and they all point to the same shift. In most Western kitchens, the freezer is reactive. Something is about to expire, freeze it. You made too much, freeze it. You don't know what to do with it, freeze it. The freezer is the last stop before the bin. A different approach, common among Japanese home cooks who think carefully about weekly food preparation, treats the freezer as part of the process, not the end of it. Proteins go in pre-portioned and pre-marinated. As they thaw, the marinade works its way through the meat. Dinner prep is already partially done before you walk into the kitchen. Vegetables are blanched and frozen at peak quality, ready to use without any additional preparation. Stock sits in cubes, herbs sit in oil. Rice is portioned and ready. Opening the freezer on a weeknight looks different when it's been stocked this way. You see portions, not mystery bags. Ingredients, not leftovers. Options, not obligations. The freezer becomes genuinely useful, not as storage, but as preparation. That's the shift these techniques are built around. The appliance is the same. What changes is when you use it and why. 11 techniques, one underlying idea. The freezer works better when you make decisions at the beginning, not when something is already going bad. That's the difference between a freezer full of forgotten food and one that makes cooking easier every week. If you want to keep discovering practical ideas like these, hit like and subscribe. And the next video on your screen is worth watching. More ideas you can actually use starting today.